our objective here today is that you'll understand all of the 7 steps that you need to do in order to do a direct mail campaign. And let's start right off. The benefits of direct mail, Richard. Now, just let me preface this a little bit, if I could. As a marketing consultant, prior to getting into the real estate business, I did work with 152 different marketing niches. And you know what I found was my number one tool in all of those?
Direct mail.
Exactly. So the point is, and you used direct mail before you got into real estate, right?
Yeah. Direct mail is a silver bullet of marketing. I mean, if you're looking for one type of media, one way to get your message out, direct mail has the most benefits in just about any industry and just about for any function when it's done right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways to get a message out, but by using direct mail as real estate entrepreneurs, it is the number one method that we can recommend.
Yeah, so we've definitely proven it in the last decade in this niche, creative real estate. But, I mean, it's been proven over and over and over again in so many other niches. So it is the way to go. If you're not doing direct mail, you're really missing it. And if you're doing direct mail, there's a good chance you may be doing it not exactly completely right. And that's one of the things we want to do here tonight is to make sure you're doing it all right. So one of the first benefits, of course, is it's very, very cost effective.
Yeah, because it allows you to target your ideal prospects and hit them multiple times. And we're going to talk about the advantages of multiple times. One of the advantages is that you get to hit the right person at the right time. Because as we know, it's kind of like a moving parade, right, Dan?
Yeah, that's what we say, is that life is a parade. You never really know what's coming around the corner. So when you talk about the right person at the right time, we know we can pick out the ideal prospect. But how do you pick out the right time? We just keep hitting them.
Right, and so you hit them once and you get some response, and then you hit them again and you get some different response from different people, even to the same list, right? Then third and fourth time, and people, when they see your message, they can see it once and respond. But when they start seeing it over and over, it gives you a lot of benefits. But also, it may hit them on that multiple hit when they are now motivated to sell their house, or now they have a need to sell their house.
And folks listening can think about, they've probably responded to some direct marketing that we've sent out. And if you think about your own personal situation, whether it's with us or with anything else that you were motivated to respond to in direct mail, you might not have taken action the first time out. You might have said, gee, I really want to, and meant to, and you put it away and it's a pile on your desk. And then you get hit again. Oh yeah, now I want to make sure I do that. So that's the other thing about the parade is even people who want to respond the first time they see us may not respond, which is why we're going to continually hit them.
And so we want to systematically hit them. Now it also provides a little bit of extra credibility when they see your message more than once, because when we mail to someone and say, "Hey, we're interested in buying your house," a lot of times they don't believe it.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
It's like, what's the catch? Why do you want to buy my house? But when you keep going, hitting them over and over, saying, I'm buying houses in the neighborhood, I'm interested in buying your house whenever you're looking to sell, now that they've seen you several times, it gives you more credibility. It doesn't sound too good to be true because you're still around.
Mm-hmm. And
it shows that, that's what you do. It gives you a lot of credibility. And there's a lot of psychological reasons you can get into why. But any time you do marketing and you hit people 4 or 5 times or more, you see a statistical bump in the response rates. From my background, I think it's because we're filling up their convincer strategy. I mean, we've gotten to the point where they really believe it's real, and they actually finally respond. So anybody who mails just once or twice never gets the advantage of that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th hit where you can see a bump in response. And so we're going to do that automatically. Another thing about direct mail and why it's cost-effective is not only do you get the initial response, but you get a trickle-in response, okay? Because when you're putting postcards and letters in people's hands and in their house, okay, and you tell them, hey, keep this if you're not ready to respond.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a house for sale, why don't you hold this? Keep this with your important house paperwork. Or people might think, oh, I might be transferred. I might have to sell my house. I'm not ready to sell now. I'll go ahead and hold on to this. And people do hold on to it, and they do respond later.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing how long people will hold on to stuff. I've had calls, I'll look them up real quick in my database. I go, how long you had this card? I haven't mailed to your neighborhood in a year. And they go, well, about a year and a half,
I got a report from Jim in California. He mailed out postcards, and 1 year later, from that one mailing. He spent about $1,600 mailing out postcards. He did a deal out of that campaign, 40, 45,000, something like that. 1 year later, the lady called up, had the postcard for a year, and that deal netted him $100,000.
Yeah, wow.
A year later.
It is incredible, but it is true. You're right. And of course, it's another big, huge benefit is it's very controllable, right?
Yes, you can turn it on and you can turn it off based on your capacity to handle the leads or your goals. So if you're going out of town and you don't have the capacity to handle the leads, you don't want the calls coming in while you're in Tahiti or something like that,
right.
You can schedule it around when you have the support for it. So you can crank it up or you can crank it down. If you get bogged down by, you just all of a sudden you're buying all these houses and you want to go ahead and close those out and work your exits, you don't want to turn off your marketing, but you can scale it back a little if needed.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be careful about that because you're filling up your pipeline, and there's a lag time between the time that you send your mail out and you get the response. So you got to be careful about that. But fortunately, most of this system, this marketing system for getting leads, it only takes about a week. You can plan on launching your campaign and having it, coming in a week. So it's not like the yellow pages where you have to wait a couple months for it actually to start.
No, that's a very, very good point. So that kind of static media, you really can't control when you want your leads. And we've got clients who even, they said it where they know what day of the week they want the leads, therefore they drop the mail at this time. And of course it lets you test, and if it's a successful test, you can, ramp up more. And of course if it's a test that doesn't work out, then you can back off.
That's right. You're not tied to it. You don't have to spend a lot of money testing that campaign. You test it out. If it's working, then you expand on it or you repeat it. If it's not working, then you probably want to test a different market.
And that's why we're going to talk about this later, that you need to track your results, and that's exactly why. There's another word we use, scalable. Tell us about that.
For example, if you're hitting certain mailing lists, you might find that there's only 6,000 people with free and clear houses in your farm area, okay? And that means your mailing list is limited to 6,000 people for that campaign. And if you want to buy more houses than what you can get out of those 6,000 leads, sometimes it doesn't make sense to mail to that list more often because we do have recommended frequencies for certain campaigns. So what you really need is you need another list to add, another campaign to add to your marketing plan, or you need to kind of expand your geographic farm area so you can get some more, for example, free and clear. So you can scale it based on the geographic area and based on your goals, based on how much more business you can handle. And again, it comes under the same guise as Controllable, but you can start small if you're working this business part-time, and then you can ramp it up as soon as you have more time to work the business or you have more people helping you. That way you can easily target the exact type of properties that you want to be selling or that you want to own and hold.
Yeah, for example, to carry on with your example, in the changing market that we have today compared to a couple of years ago, we need to focus more on people, with equity, more on people with motivation. And best, of course, is the combination of the two. So that's what we're really talking about when we talk about focused and targeted. What is your ideal target? And let's go focus and get them.
Yeah, because if you're doing other types of marketing like running ads or posting signs and stuff like that, you can't really target the people with equity or target the most motivated people per se when you're doing those more shotgun approach marketing. So with direct mail, we can be very targeted, very laser guided, very focused, and we know the best people to go after. So it's just a matter of getting those lists and mailing to